Hello and a very warm welcome to Business Africa here on Africanews. In today's program, the Republic of Chad strives for an 8% yearly growth rate by 2030 via industrialization and economic diversification. Another fall in global oil prices despite OPEC agreements to curb oil production. Plus, the Republic of Congo signs 20-year oil exploitation contract amid a global oil crisis. Chad hopes to achieve an 8% economic growth rate in 10 years. This is the objective of the Master Plan for Industrialization and Economic Diversification set up by Ndjamena. It aims to develop the national economy by exploiting key sectors such as energy, mining and digital technology. The first phase of this program, which extends until 2022, costs over $985 billion. Hawao Sulemanu and Ruth Lago with more.
Chad has set its expected economic growth rate at 8% by 2030, a rate well beyond the 2% expected target in 2017. The country is focusing mainly on 12 sectors considered key to national development. For the chief of the Sub-Regional Initiative section of the ECA Sub-Regional Office for Central Africa, Adama Coulibaly, it would be an issue of relying on sectors involved in industrialization or processing. According to the estimates of the ECA and Chad teams, the investment of this master plan would generate a total income of $1.9 billion between 2020 and 2022, for gains estimated at about $873.6 million and a return on investment of nearly 89% over the next 3 years. Ndjamena, facing 6 main challenges according to the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa, must focus on political will, coordination and decentralization, regional cooperation, diplomacy and public-private partnership. According to the authorities, this 10-year plan requires funding of more than $985 billion.
To discuss the different axes of this development plan, we are joined by Adama Coulibaly, senior economist at the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa. It should be recalled that ECA and the Chadian government have worked together on this economic and development project. You're welcome to the program.
Thank you, Amel.
Why an industrialization and economic diversification plan for Chad at this time?
Chad needs an industrialization and economic diversification plan in order to urgently operationalize Axis 3 of the National Development Plan. But above all, to help the country become more resilient and more diversified, to better prepare itself against repeated crises. The plan's main priority is to ensure that Chad implements reforms that will make it possible to clean up the business environment. Second, the plan also seeks ways and means to mobilize adequate resources to make the implementation of the plan a reality. Finally, the plan will enable Chad to build the necessary capacities and skills to enable it to take greater ownership, not only of the implementation, but also in monitoring of the plan with all its partners.
So, Mr. Coulibaly, who are the most important stakeholders in the implementation of this plan?
The most important players on the continent today, and in Chad in particular, are first and foremost the technical and financial partners working on the ground alongside the government, the International Monetary Fund, the World Bank, the African Development Bank, the UNDP, and all bilateral partners such as the AFD. The Chadian government therefore intends to coordinate and align priorities with these institutions. Above all, however, this plan must first of all be based on the mobilization of the Chadian government's own resources. It is a priority for the government to set up a fund, special fund, a sovereign fund that will accompany the action or support that will be provided by other partners. It is therefore a matter of synergy, not only in terms of human resources, but also in terms of financial resources.
Will the coronavirus pandemic not call into question the country's pre-established program?
Thank you for this question. Not at all. As you know, the COVID-19 pandemic is of course a priority to be contained. But here, Chad Master Plan for Industrialization and Economic Diversification is a mission that we absolutely must, and I would say, consider as a trade economic defense strategy to prepare for any eventuality in terms of future shocks. So COVID-19 simply reminds the government to speed up and quickly put in place a robust structure, as I said, which will enable it to carry out this mission to implement and monitor Chad's PDIDE. Here, it is not a question of means, but it is much more a question of reorganization to be able to quickly launch the plan, and we intend to do so very soon once the environment is clarified at the level of COVID-19.
Thank you for the insights. Adama Coulibaly is a senior economist at the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa, and he was speaking to us from Yaoundé in Cameroon.
Thank you as well.
After this quick break, we take a look at the oil war, which seems to have no solution. Don't go away.